All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I'm pretty sure most of you, if not all of you, are here for the State of the City address because we never get this many people at a council meeting. Council meetings are wildly enjoyable if you ever decide you do want to come. And for those of you in the audience who have never been, basically what the flow is we'll go through what we call Board of Control, which is approval of expenditures that have already been finalized in the budget. It's just one last chance to approve them before the actual money gets spent. And then we'll roll into the council meeting where we'll deal with our normal monthly legislation. Normally there's a public comment aspect of the council meeting and the committee reports, but we're going to forego those tonight and allow us to get to the State of the City quicker. And I believe there will be a question and answer during the State of the City as well. So, all right. Let's begin with the Board of Control for the Monday, May 5th, Monday, May 19th, 2025. May I have roll call, please?
Mr. Marco?
Here.
Mr. Price?
Here.
Mr. Gambuki?
Here.
Mr. Schlesser?
Here.
Mr. Gushett?
Here.
Mr. Lopesti? Mr. Fry?
Here, will you all join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance to start the meeting?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, up first on the Board of Control agenda tonight is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of Board of Control that was held Monday, May 5th, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we dispense with the full reading with those minutes and they stand approved as circulated.
Second. I have a motion and a second for approval of the meeting minutes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next to is to award contracts.
Yes. 6 bids were received on April 25th, 2025 for the 2025 asphalt program ranging from $673,593.75 to $796,005 for the base bid. Alternate items were also bid for the conversion of the Brandon Park skate parks into a pickleball court, ranging from $798,206.75 to $910,729.80. The city engineer recommends award of the project to Phillips Caving LLC for $798,206.75, contingent on the available funds to include the alternate items. In addition to this award, he recommended the appropriation of $5,000 to the construction administration costs that were in the performance of the project.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that the mayor be able to enter into a contract with Phillips Paving LLC in the amount of $798,206.75 for the asphalt and skate park program, and also an additional $5,000 for construction administration costs.
Second. I have a motion and a second for the award of contract for the asphalt program. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Next is the approval of purchase requisitions.
For BMC Communications, portable and mobile radios, and Police Department have approved in the capital budget, an amount not to exceed $50,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
For BNC Communications, for the bidirectional amplifiers, the Police Department has approved in capital budget, and an amount not to exceed $35,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion carries.
The insert to the network upgrades of the Brainerd freight cars, it's used in the capital budget for $13,489.87.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on that approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to adjourn Board of Control.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn Board of Control. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We will move into a regular meeting of the City Council for Monday, May 19th, 2025. May I have roll call, please?
Here.
Price?
Here.
Mr. Gamke?
Here.
Mr. Schlessel?
Here.
Mr. Lopesti?
Here.
Mr. Lukowski? Mr. Fry?
Here. First on council's agenda this evening is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of council that was held Monday, May 5th, 2025.
So, Mr. Chairman, I move for the dispense of full reading of those minutes and they stand approved as circulated.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going to move right in then to our legislation for this evening, starting off with ordinance 2025-26.
Ordinance number 2025-26, ordinance appropriate.
You want this?
That's study. Restricted city limits. Period ending December 31st, 2025, repealing ordinance number 2025-11 and declaring emergency.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the suspension of the rules for ordinance number 2025-26. Ask that it be highlighted and placed on third reading for passage.
Second. I have a motion and a second for suspension of the rules on ordinance 2025-26. May I have roll call, please?
Mr. Harpel.
Aye.
Mr. Price.
Aye.
Mr. Gammon.
Aye.
Mr. Sharp.
Aye.
Mr. Bouchesse.
Aye.
Mr. Fry.
Aye.
Provide for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Linders for the period beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, the following sums she appropriated. In the general fund, there's an increase of $29,150. In the special revenues fund, there's an increase of $3,946.08. And that leaves a grand total of all funds of $34,299,395. This ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary to the immediate preservation of the public needs, health, and safety for further reason that it's necessary to immediately make the appropriations herein in order that the city can properly function and meet its obligations currently. Therefore, Ms. Ordinance shall take effect immediately upon the affirmative vote of not less than 5 members elected council, signature by the mayor. Otherwise, it's really kind of allowed by law.
Move to adopt.
Second. I have a motion and a second for adoption of ordinance 2025-26. May I have roll call?
Mr. Marco?
Aye.
Mr. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Davity?
Aye.
Mr. Schlessel?
Aye.
Mr. Bishop?
Aye.
Mr. Fry?
Aye. Next up is ordinance 2025-27.
Ordinance number 2025-27 is an ordinance enacting Chapter 781 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Linders, prohibiting medical marijuana and adult use cannabis dispensaries within the city and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, I move for suspension of the rules for ordinance 2025-27. I ask that it be highlighted and placed on third reading for passage.
I have a motion and a second for suspension of the rules on ordinance 2025-27. May I have roll call?
Mr. Marco?
Aye.
Mr. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Yannicki?
Aye.
Mr. Schlessel?
Aye.
Mr. Bishop?
Aye.
Mr. Fry?
Aye.
On November 7, 2023, Ohio voters cast Issue 2 and at Chapter 3780 of the Ohio Revised Code. And Chapter 3780 also permits the legislative authority of municipal corporations to prohibit or limit the number of adult use cannabis operators permitted under Chapter 3780 within the municipal corporation. With her city council having considered the new legislation, the applicable state codes, regulations, and local ordinances in order to formulate a proper local response to the Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 3780 has decided to prohibit all marijuana dispensaries from operating within the city, regardless of whether for adult use or to medical purposes, having determined that such a prohibition would be in the best interest of the health, safety, and general welfare of the community. Proposed Chapter 781 entitled Medical Marijuana and Adult Use Cannabis be in the same, this hereby acted from its entirety. This ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the city of Linders. Indeed, an emergency being necessity to create regulations relative to urgent dispensing of medical or adult use marijuana in the city before Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 3780 regulations are enacted. This order shall therefore take effect immediately upon the passage of the affirmative vote of not less than 5 members of this council or the mayor, otherwise at the earliest, and allowed by law.
Move to adopt.
Second. I have a motion and a second for adoption of ordinance 2025-27. May I roll call, please?
Mr. Marco?
Aye.
Mr. Price? Aye. Gavin?
Aye.
Mr. Schlessel?
Aye.
Mr. Bouchesse?
Aye.
Mr. Fry?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to adjourn the council meeting.
Second. I have a motion and a second for adjournment of the meeting. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All right, we will turn the floor over to the mayor for the State of the City address.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome. Welcome to my 4th State of the City address. So please, we all have a recording of this presentation, thanks to our Southview Linders City Schools and our Brush Audiovisual Department. The recording will soon be posted on our website and city Facebook pages for our residents to review at their leisure. Thank you also to our city council for amending their meeting agenda to allow us to segue quickly, because I think it's great that you're able to observe a little bit of how your council takes care of your city's business. Our councilman Chuck Lopresti is currently deployed as a major in the Army National Guard, and he is assigned to the National Capital Region in support of Operation Noble Eagle and the global war on terror. This is Council Major Lopresti's 2nd deployment, and he attends remotely almost every meeting. We're so very proud of his service to our country and representation of our community. Can we please show him some Lyndhurst love with a round of applause? Thank you, Councilman LaPresti. In addition to our city council members seated before you, we have our Assistant Clerk of Council, Kelly Miller, Director of Law and Prosecutor John Luskin, Assistant Director of Law Ray Schmidlin, our Police Chief Patrick Rohde, Fire Chief Michael Carroll, Service Director Tony Fiorito, Building Commissioner John Michael, and our new Finance Director, Rich Petruniak. Thank you all for being here. We're the host city for the Lyndhurst Municipal Court, which serves 6 communities, and our Judge Dominic Coletta is with us this evening. Thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate you being here. Also with us this evening and in the audience, I see we have State Senator Ken Smith, our new state representative, Eric Sinnenberg. Amber Joyner, is Amber here? Representing, there she is. Okay, representing Congresswoman Chantel Brown's office. Our County Councilwoman, Sunny Simon. Our South Euclid School Superintendent, Dr. Dominic Capel, and Assistant Superintendent, the lovely Melissa Thompson, are with us this evening. School board members, our President Cassandra Jones and Vice President Crystal Shelby are with us. Thank you for being here. Our Community Partnership on Aging Executive Director Wendy Satin, our City Engineer Jeff Filarski, Stuart Musinski representing our wonderful partners at Kindland, Tony Ramos with our partners at NOPEC. Thank you, Tony. Sherry Tilson, is Sherry here? Well, she's with Cleveland Jewish News, and they publish our magazine, which they're a wonderful partner in that. And of course, I have our special guest, my wife Judy, my daughter Linda, and my grandchildren, Patrick and Grace. Thank you so much for, staying up late, coming to hear Papa talk for 3 hours. 3 hours, wow. While this evening's council agenda was indeed abbreviated, the tempo of meetings is generally quick and businesslike, mainly because our council comes to their meetings prepared to work, respectful of each other, and out of respect for those few residents who attend the meetings. So what is it you would all love to know about Lyndhurst? We're not in the news much. I've said this often and firmly believe that the public wants to see progress, not posturing, and that is exactly your city council's approach. Your elected council representatives bring a public service mindset to each task and take their responsibilities to our community seriously. They put the interests of our residents and Lyndhurst first and are committed to our community before themselves. They love our community of neighbors. Your city council's approach to taking care of business is certainly not the norm in local politics. A recent podcast and Cleveland.com article offered the opinion that there is a local leadership vacuum in our region where public officials revel in personal conflicts instead of working towards solutions. This leadership vacuum isn't just frustrating, it is costly. When elected officials focus on personal agendas rather than public service, important initiatives stall, economic development falters, and citizen trust erodes. I've been saying the same exact thing for years, which makes my appreciation for how our city council members approach every task or issue even greater. Most certainly your city council is thorough. Definitely every single thing is not a slam dunk. We debate and we do not see eye to eye on every issue. But ladies and gentlemen, disagreements do not need to be disagreeable, and it is definitely that disagreeable that makes the news. Our city remains in solid financial health and maintains a AA2 bond rating. Our income is steady. My team presents our council conservative budgets, and they analyze each line item asked carefully. Once council approves the final budget, I and our departments get to work stretching each budgeted dollar as far as possible. Home values in Lyndhurst and our region remain strong, and demand in Lyndhurst is still robust, which is great, but we do hear about property tax quite often. I do want to point out for every dollar you and I pay in property tax, our city receives about 12.5 cents. And for that 12.5 cents, we try to provide you $1.25 in service value. While our Lyndhurst employee family is not growing, we have welcomed some new employees recently. Retirements have brought us 2 new police officers this past month, and we will be bringing 3 new firefighter paramedics on board soon. We have a brand new finance director, which I introduced earlier, Rich Petruniak, and a new assistant finance director, Ryan Kasunik, as well. Our former finance director, Mary Kowalczyk, has stayed on as our part-time tax administrator, which is helping us tremendously. Through a generous donation from a resident couple, We welcomed our new canine officer, Sonic, to the Lyndhurst Police Department last year, who has been partnered with Officer Amy Barnett. Most recently, we transitioned one of our dispatcher positions to full-time to enhance our coverage at high call volume times. Our greatest asset is our personnel. I hear from residents all the time how much our city services are appreciated and that our employees do an excellent job in every area. Here in Lyndhurst, our business is service. It is our job, it is our mission, it is what we do. Through emergencies or storms and sewer backups, it's what we do. As a government, there are limitations. We recognize we can't affect all things, but we try to be as helpful as possible and at least to be a resource whenever possible. It is what we do. It is far more than being trained or proficient at a skill. It is the community mindedness that I see our employees invest in almost everything they do that matters. Our finance department does an excellent job of tracking and reporting all of our financial activities, assisting in the writing and management of millions of dollars in grant funding and reimbursements, which support important projects and initiatives, including playground and park improvements, water line replacements, road resurfacing, equipment purchases, including our new and soon-to-be-delivered fire engine, which, thank you, Councilwoman Sunny Simon, $700,000 in ARPA grant funding helped us greatly in that procurement. Thank you so much. And even this room's upgrades. Thank you to our state Senator Kent Smith, who $200,000 of grant support really facilitated the sound and audiovisual. The audiovisual piece has not been commissioned yet. It's all installed, but they need to come in and officially bless it. I don't know that process, but it will be happening soon. But I can already tell how the sound travels in this room, where it used to bounce off the walls. It's much better, and it's going to be so much greater for our residents, especially our elderly, to enjoy the programs that we offer here. Making the case for grant support is critical and requires attention to details, and our finance department is great at those details. How we track and report everything financial is something our team does so well, and that is why they consistently earn the Auditor of State Award for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Without their diligence, not one thing could happen. We're lucky to have the great finance team we do. Our service department workers have a multitude of skills, whether it's tending to over 100 lane miles of roadways, caring for our pool and spray park, our over 8,000 trees, maintaining our playgrounds and parks, keeping our residents' sewers flowing, collecting our trash, recyclables, and yard waste, or maintaining our fleet of vehicles. Our Lyndhurst Service Department workers do it all. And how about that weekend garbage service? That is the most tremendous service, and I hear from our residents when I'm working the line all the time, thank you, and our guys do a great job. Last year, our service department collected nearly 6,000 tons of rubbish, nearly 1,000 tons of curbside recycling, 3,500 tons of yard waste, including leaves and chipped brush, and collected around 6 tons of hazardous household waste. We went through 10 tons of cold patch, 34 tons of asphalt, and 95 yards of concrete. We planted 62 new trees and attended to another 1,255, and of course, attended to 35 acres of public lands. We cleaned 443 catch basins, repairing 10 that needed attention, and we responded to 711 sewer calls, and we did that all in-house. What I find extraordinary is that our cost to provide our residents refuse and recycling service, including yard waste and weekend rubbish service, is only $18.64 per dwelling per month, and we factor in our fuel, disposal fees, equipment replacement costs, everything. $18.64. Let's see the private sector compete with that. And when those guys are done with their garbage or recycling routes, they're available to assist in other ways. So if we were privatizing, we wouldn't be getting the benefit of all that, and we do it for $18.64 a month. I'm not going to pat you on the head, but good job. City Council assures our employees are well equipped, which is important because the more we can do in-house, the better we are at controlling costs and timing, which helps us deliver the best possible public service to you. Being a Lyndhurst resident for 48 years, I've watched how our city's service department workers, and really in all of our departments, have embraced technology and grown in numerous ways. Every day, the men and women of our police and fire departments are tasked with keeping all of us, residents and visitors to our community alike, safe and healthy, which is our most primary and our most costly function. We have members who participate in regional specialty teams, honing skills which we would not be able to provide alone. I will tell you, and I'm not bragging, but our employees' contribution to each of these specialized teams, be it SWAT, drug enforcement, crisis response, fire investigation, accident investigation, whatever that skill set is, our Lyndhurst employees stand out as leaders. They train constantly, and the range of that training has grown exponentially as technological ability and societal complexities have both afforded and demanded. This past year, our entire police and fire departments received 12 weeks of trauma-informed care response training with the goal of advancing the program by partnering with counselors to complement the work our staff does with those we serve. The Lyndhurst Police Department also received the 2024 Community Traffic Safety Gold Award presented by the AAA. That was to the department. I don't think it's to the drivers that drive through the community because I still get a lot of complaints about those, but kudos to Lieutenant DeBow and team for at least getting us a gold award. Speaking of road safety, many residents may have noticed the work underway on I-271, which will flip the slip lanes off of and onto the express lanes, as well as widening our Cedar Brainerd exit ramp. This project, insisted upon by Pepper Pike Mayor Rick Bain and me, is moving on an accelerated timeline because of our safety concerns and horrible accident history. We appreciate ODOT's assistance in this important improvement and our own engineers' involvement because he pointed out things that could be improved upon that they didn't have in the original plan, all to help traffic get safely off the freeway at one of our most congested off-ramps. So thanks, Jeff, for that. We're also very fortunate to have our Lyndhurst Police Foundation, a not-for-profit organized by employees of our Lyndhurst Police Department, which has brought back Safety Town that has already trained over 200 of our young children before they begin school, provided over $10,000 in scholarship to area students, provided significant support for organizations or residents where needed, and conducted a very successful food drive before the holidays. I see this and I say this a lot. As firefighters, our personnel are second to none, and as paramedics, they're even better. They provide an outstanding service to our community. Again, they train continuously. Everything from lift assists to traffic accidents, community relations, providing critical medical care, or responding to fires, there is knowledge and confidence in all they do. Last year, our fire department personnel responded to over 3,000 incidents. Almost 2,400 of those were EMS calls, and over 2,000 of those required transport to area hospitals, mostly to Hillcrest. We do transport to various hospital facilities based upon a variety of factors and under the advice of our medical control at Hillcrest Hospital. They had 47 structure fire-related responses, which included providing mutual aid to our neighbors, and 150 fire alarm responses. In a nutshell, they are very busy with calls that frequently come in back to back to back. And as always, during the month of May, our fire personnel are performing our annual fire hydrant testing, and we will have our hydrant painter out this summer as well. Again, as trusted leaders in the region, our Lyndhurst Fire Department is piloting a new program where every hydrant inspection result is directly uploaded to Cleveland Water to document test results and initiate repair orders. For our residents, our fire personnel install car seats, provide CPR training, and for qualifying residents, install residential smoke detectors and Knox boxes. As I mentioned, they train constantly. Last year, our fire personnel completed almost 3,500 hours of fire and EMS-related training, mostly while on duty, which is quite something, especially when they're back to back to back. Thank you. Every call for emergency response comes through our own communications center, staffed by individuals who know our community, know our capabilities, and who calmly, capably, and compassionately direct needed resources and support those deployed resources as a hub for needed information. They're that 24/7, 365 voice on the other end of the line when you need it, and answered over 3,900 911 calls and processed over 17,500 calls last year alone. In our building department, they attend to numerous programs that assure the value of our housing stock and the vibrancy of our business district remains high. Our building department manages business and rental occupancy registrations and issued permits generating over $400,000 in fees last year alone. In 2024, our commissioner and inspectors oversaw over $5 million in commercial projects and $4.2 million in residential renovation and new construction projects, along with providing residents an unquantifiable amount of advice. Our residents obviously have been very busy improving their homes, and it really shows. As an incentive, listen to this, our city council chooses one home in each of the 4 wards of the city as a property of distinction for the months of June, July, and August. These property owners receive a certificate and a sign to place in their yard in recognition of their hard work and the inspiration they provide us all. If you have any recommendations, please contact your councilman, and they would be happy to consider them for nomination. I am more than a little proud of our employees and what they do, try to do, or get done for our residents. I have an advantage given that all of our activities come out of one footprint. I get to see how everything is deployed daily. I'm also proud of our council's support for our employees' efforts to serve you. I do believe our team members go out of their way to work hard and not to disappoint. While I do not believe that makes us perfect, I do believe that as an organization we aspire to the highest level of public service imaginable. This month of May is Older Americans Month. Thank you, Wendy, for reminding me. The need for the services of our community partnership on aging, whether it be the installation of grab bars or trip hazard assessments, exercise and educational programs, including technology training, luncheon and other socialization programs, home-delivered meals, or the wonderful interventions of CPA social workers. The mission of CPA touches every aspect of quality of life for the residents in its 6 member communities and our region. In addition to the regular lunches served to participants at the various community centers, CPA oversees the monthly distribution of fresh produce boxes and pantry boxes, which translates to thousands of pounds of food per month, food our area residents would be doing without were it not for our partnership and the hard work of CPA staff and great volunteers, including my assistant, Clarice White, and our clerk, Kelly Miller, who pitch in to help with the distributions. And speaking of food distribution, every year, thanks to the generosity of our local BP Corner Market, we distribute 400 turkeys and other items to area residents right before Thanksgiving. That shows there is so much heart in this community. We also have our awesome Meals on Wheels program, which sees volunteers warming and distributing hundreds of meals from this building 5 days per week. I cannot begin to thank the diligent staff and dedicated volunteers who help serve our residents. The support that is available is amazing, but so is the need. As a community of neighbors, all I ask is that we make every effort to be aware of our neighbors' needs, pay attention to their comings and goings, or especially lack thereof, and let us know if you believe there is a change or anything of concern. We will indeed follow up. We believe it is important to maintain a close relationship with our Southview Linters City Schools, who, as I said, are represented here this evening. Board members regularly attend our council meetings as a part of their agenda, which keeps us informed which keeps us informed on school happenings. I know the media rarely reports it because good news gets little attention, but there are tremendous programs and student achievement in our city schools. There are, as a first-ring school district, inherent challenges and a huge need for strong parenting, but there are definite signs that the efforts of dedicated staff, including our awesome school resource officers, are making headway in addressing these challenges to inspire student success. I and your council will continue our engagement with our SEL schools because they are and must be a reflection of our community. And then there is our participation in the Kindland Initiative, a program inspired by Stuart Musinski and the Values in Action Foundation, which is bringing together communities, businesses, organizations, and schools by recognizing and sharing those acts of kindness we see around us in an effort to inspire positivity and goodness. We are a Kindland community, and I wear my bracelet every day to remind myself, and yes, I do need reminding, to just be kind. There may be... yeah, you're laughing. There may be more bracelets at the table in the back. We talk about partnership and collaboration a lot, and it is more than talk. Partnership is important. maybe even critical for us to be truly successful in what we do. Whether it is partnering with our sister cities, our county, our state of Ohio, or rarely even our federal government, Lyndhurst works well with all so that all can see success. We accomplish so much more together than we can alone. This is what I believe, and this is what we do. When we have our home day and reach out to our county sheriff for assistance from the impact unit, that's partnership. When we need extra resources and reach out to county emergency management, that's partnership. We look for every opportunity to work with others, to provide leadership, and to be that great partner to every organization, which is something I believe provides significant benefit to our community. You would be amazed at the many ways our Lyndhurst employees move the needle for our region and the respect their professionalism and expertise garners. They do us proud. I strategically participate in several key organizations that provide service directly to our residents or benefit our region. I'm the president of the Council of Governments that oversees our Community Partnership on Aging. I serve as a board member of Senior Transportation Connection, which is important because our Community Partnership on Aging is its third largest client. I'm president of the Suburban Police Anti-Crime Network, and Chief Rohde is the president of that board. I serve on the Cuyahoga County Emergency Services Advisory Board. Chief Carroll is the chair of that board. I'm president of the Council of Governments for the Northeastern Ohio Regional Sewer District. I serve on the board of Destination Cleveland. I'm the president of the Council of Governments for the Regional Income Tax Agency. Our former finance director and tax administrator, Mary Kowalczyk, is on that board. I'm treasurer to the Cuyahoga County Mayors and City Managers Association, and I am the president of the Hillcrest Council of Councils. I believe each one of these connects important dots for our city and our partners and our region. So I am grateful for the opportunity to represent the interests of Lyndhurst and our residents to these organizations. So, enough about our operations. How about our community? We have become known for our great events. Our concerts in the park and council's free ice cream treats, our bunny breakfast, Mayor's Young at Heart, which is coming up Sunday, June 1st. So if you're young enough, you please sign up and come. Our National Night Out, our Trick or Treat Trail, and Candy Cane Lane are fabulous home day weekends. And yes, we will be celebrating home day number 100 this year, which is, according to our historian, Tom Trier, the longest running community festival of its type in our state. Last year, we hosted a special tribute concert to Lyndhurst native Eric Carmen, which drew a crowd of well over 1,200 people to our park from as far away as Georgia, Massachusetts, and Minnesota to Lyndhurst for an outdoor concert. Extraordinary. We raised over $11,000 for music education, which our schools are taking advantage for the first time this year. At the end of August, the 28th, 29th, and 30th to be exact, thanks to our Lyndhurst Police Foundation, we will host the 9/11 Never Forget mobile exhibit from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, open for student groups and the public, which will culminate with a very special patriotic concert after the exhibit closes, featuring the Diamond Project Band. Our young people need to be shown the history of the events that fateful day, September 11th, 2001, and how it forever changed our America. This exhibit has not been in Northern Ohio since 2014, and the farthest north was Medina. So a shout out to Detective Lieutenant Scipione and our Lyndhurst Police Foundation leadership for this great initiative. I recently wrote about our business community and how the entrepreneurial spirit has brought so much of the world right here to Lyndhurst. To complement our amazing Italian restaurants, Asian fusion at Wild Mango, authentic Thai at Bangkok Thai, we have recently opened Bubble Wave Cafe, serving bubble teas and other wonderful treats. And thank you for being here. They are wonderful treats. Right next door, next to Fox's, it's extraordinary. We have Sune's Turkish Cafe, serving authentic and delicious Turkish and Mediterranean dishes. Tous les Jours Cafe, did I do that right? A South Korean franchised French bakery, and we will soon become the hibachi epicenter of the world, with Yami Express fast food hibachi next to Pet Supplies Plus, Toko Japanese Steakhouse and Sushi Bar at the site of the former BW3, offering casual dine-in and takeout. And then at Legacy Village, we will soon have Shinto Japanese Steakhouse and Sushi Bar with 17 hibachi stations, sushi area, and so much more. Truly an exciting world dining experience scene right here in Lyndhurst. Who'd have figured And it's all really good. I would like to thank my assistant Clarice White, who keeps all the obligations on my calendar straight, my wife of 48 years, Judy, who juggles the other aspects of our life to keep me balanced. Speaking of wives, those who attend our various events will recognize some of our council wives who pitch in. We have Beth Price here, April Gershetsky snuck in. Oh, there she is. Okay. Let's see, who else we got? Ann Fry is not here, but she's there a lot. Marla Schlesel's not here. Lisa Marco's not here. Marla, where's Marla? Marla's there. Okay, Marla's here. Good. Thank you all so very much for your support and all you do to help us serve our residents, because it's truly an impossible task. There's a lot of family time that goes into public service time, and so, we appreciate all our children and wives do to keep us sane. I also want to thank our clerk, Kelly Miller, who doubles as my communications and special projects specialist, and who assists in all aspects of our outreach to our residents and business community, something we have realized tremendous benefit from. Whether it's our magazine, our website, our e-news, our code red alert blasts, connecting with you and keeping you informed as best as we can is important. Again, we have a great team here. It is truly my honor to serve you as mayor. I hope you know that I come to work every day excited to address the challenges and opportunities that present, to solve problems, and to at least provide a resource for those issues that our responsibilities cannot directly affect. Your city council, our employees, and all of our departments, and on our wonderful boards. Thank you, Nancy Nozick, for being here this evening. We are so proud to serve you in every way possible, and it's so much more than that. We want you, our residents, to be proud of our service, to regard living in our community of neighbors as a privilege, so that when you say, I live in Lyndhurst, your friends and family will think, wow. So that's all my prepared remarks, and I know we have time for questions, so. Yes, Liz.
The TR that we brought property up.
Which one is that? So the question is, what about the former TRW, which is Cleveland Clinic Lyndhurst campus? I did have a meeting with them last week. I told them before the end of April that I was, having this session, and knew that it would be a question because it's the question comes in. They don't have a plan yet. I think they do, but I don't think it's something that has been articulated to their board. My hope is that there is some use on some of the property for the clinic and some use on some of the property for housing. I think that would be really a good win for Lyndhurst. I think it would be a good win for Legacy Village, because we don't have the live piece at Legacy. They've toyed with it, and we've toyed with it, but they just don't have enough space to be effective with it. So if we were to add a live component that close, I just think it would be spectacular. To the west of Legacy Village, we have a little community called The Woods. It's very similar topography, and it is just an extraordinary place. It's just beautiful. Built in the 70s, and you wouldn't know it. It's just gorgeous. So they haven't told us yet. Short answer. Yes.
Yes, Mayor Ward. I wanted to share this with you this evening because one of the things I've really studied in detail, and it's an issue not only here in Northeast Ohio, but throughout the U.S., is affordable housing. And I understood that relative to that parcel, former DLW, Cleveland Clinic parcel, and Legacy Village, and I go to Legacy Village and I see what's going on out there. And I know that the city of Lyndhurst had entertained the notion about house, and I understood that. And I just wanted your attitude, as opposed to saying, well, what can we do housing that enhances the tax base here in the city of Lyndhurst versus address this specific need, not only here in Northeast Ohio, but U.S. relative for affordable housing. And what I mean by that is that an individual make the per capita income here in Powder County, which is like in the mid-30s, $36,000 a year, can afford to either rent or own affordable housing. For example, what they did in the Cleveland Accord Progress in Buckeye Woodhill. They had the Buckeye Central East Pike community where if you made like 60% or 40% of the yearly needed income, you could live in brand new townhomes. And one of the things I wanted to share, and there's many assets, single family or cluster homes up and down Richmond, between Cedar and Richmond. We know relative to the Bellows project, they're going to build luxury apartments there.
Right.
Beechwood has 40% of its community is multifamily housing. Dayfield Heights, over 50% of its multifamily housing. Instead of building apartments or cluster homes, to build townhomes that's different than stacked up flat
Right.
condominiums like we had at Cree Village, whatnot, that are affordable for young professionals who possibly can live there. And adroitly taking their agenda back, they've got a bus line 94 up and down Richmond. You've got a bus line 11 that goes up and down.
Okay.
That I can go to work without a car, because with that, you realize it or not, there's a trend that people are trying to become less car dependent, not only because of the affordability and not having a car, but there are also a lot more catches about global warming, and the number one cause of global warming was transportation. So what is your attitude towards taking affordable housing?
Yeah, first of all, we deal with what they bring us. Okay, they're the property owner. We're not the property owner. Now, when they bring us a plan, maybe there are some things that we can incentivize in that plan. Lyndhurst is a somewhat affordable community. Yes, we have some pretty high-end homes. We also have some very affordable homes. I used to say, and the numbers have changed quite a bit, we have everything from $75,000 to $1.5 million. Those numbers have gone up on the low end, a little down or flat on the top end, but we have quite a mix of housing options in the city of Lyndhurst. It's not unaffordable, but to your point, if you're earning a median income of 30, which is not Lyndhurst median income, that's going to be quite a challenge subsisting. So, I don't have a negative attitude on affordable housing, but we're not the property owner. And the property owner, being the Cleveland Clinic, they're driving the bus on whatever plan they have. They could come to us with a mixed use that has X percentage market rate, X percentage, affordable rate. We've seen those types of projects come forward in other areas. We're not structured as a walkable community, which is unfortunate. We grew up a little differently than some of the older neighborhoods that have the storefronts and we're not Cleveland Heights where you have some of those walkable areas and you have a more intense transit piece. You have, we've worked with the Greenways Commission on, bike lanes and connectivity. It's really a stretch to connect every single dot, but we're still working on that with them. We added the bike lanes on Anderson, because, again, our city engineer said, yeah, we have enough room to do that, so we can have a safe bike lane on that route when we repave. So, we look at all these things, we talk to our partners, try to connect those dots. But again, the property owner is the one who has to bring us a plan. And they haven't brought me a plan yet. The meetings are scripted by the writers of Seinfeld. Yes, Sally.
Hi. I came tonight with my neighbor from Chickadee Lane, and we came to discuss the group bus situation on Chickadee in our little block.
Okay.
And we've had, you understand the importance of coupons? We had disabled members of our families who could have very much benefited from this kind of thing. But we recently, now we've got two group homes that are very close to each other and have not followed the city code about the distance in the community. Oh. And when I talked to you, I got Jeff, I got to John, and we're just very concerned about this and how does it happen that we all find out months afterwards who it is that hid this, and don't they have to get I guess they don't have to tell you or get a permanent to buy.
Well, they don't have to, right, you're exactly right. They don't have to tell us that they're purchasing something. They do have to conform to our laws, that is our opinion, with regard to our regulations, all right? Certainly, the owners of the property next to you, they're very familiar, they should be very familiar with our rules because they own a group home right across the street from you. So they should be, it should be no surprise that we are the city of Lyndhurst, that we have regulations. They should not be surprised that we are the city of Lyndhurst and have regulations because they're the reason we have regulations. There were issues which we had to address, and it was really our experience with, and it's not the owner so much, but the operator that they chose. So as your mayor, as your council, we have to be very careful with how they represent themselves to us, because they are not the operator, all right? And what they represent to us today about their operations and who's going to be in this particular residence could change if they changed operators. So it's not a very genuine relationship. And right now, I've exchanged emails with them. They don't like what I have said. And, they've, of course, threatened to sue us, which is why we have a director of law and an assistant director of law who are very practiced in these things. Certainly they have not begun work. We found out or became aware of their ownership when they applied for a building permit to make alterations to the residence to make it accessible. At that point, they were advised by our building commissioner, Mr. Michael, that, well, wait a minute, before you do anything structurally, you need to come in and get a permit. And here's where you are deficient. You're not 1,000 feet away from another group home. You're not 100 feet away from another group home. And you happen to own it. And our experience with that property that they own, that's just one. We have had other issues with other group home facilities. Most have been great. The very first group home that came into Lyndhurst is on Meadowood, and we've never had a problem there. Never, not once. Quiet, property's well maintained. You got another one where, you've got the workers, they're coming, they're going, they're sitting out in a car with their boyfriends instead of working. That for me is a problem. You're being paid. You should be watching after those you are charged with taking care of. So, we're not going to just roll over. I mean, they would have to, if they want to make a case to the city, come before the Board of Zoning Appeals, present a case to which they would have to establish to the board why their why the ordinances and the regulations of the city of Lyndhurst provide a practical difficulty for them. So, yes.
Would the neighbors, would we yell out, be at that board of zoning?
For a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, the abutting property owners, yes, are notified in writing of those meetings. The Board of Zoning Appeals, as well as the Planning Commission, are recommending bodies to the council. So any recommendation of that board, affirmative, negative, whatever, then goes to council, and council must either affirm, deny, or modify that recommendation. So there's steps. These are quasi-legal proceedings. We, keep a very good record of them. We have a very good record as to why we have the rules we have, and I don't believe for a moment that our regulation that like facilities shouldn't be within 1,000 feet of one another is an onerous requirement. Certainly, we probably have about a dozen group homes in the community. Again, we have a very housing stock, very conducive to aging in place, which is why, people stay in our community. We have a wonderful, community and great support services, which makes it very attractive to be in our community. But our regulations, we feel, are Sally, very, very reasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable at all. So, yes, sir.
Well, I had a question. We have a very good reputation in Lyndhurst for being a safe city. We had one incident recently, I think, at Legacy Village, though, and I was just asking, do we do a form of community policing where we do a lot of stuff that's on foot? And do you feel we're doing the best we can to keep retail, restaurant, gas station workers safe? And are you satisfied with the budget that the police have?
I'm satisfied with the budget the police have because, they're very well supported by our city council. We're, I think, pretty proactive. Okay, just checking. But we had an incident several months ago. I think it was on a Saturday, and Sunday morning I was at Legacy Village, and 3 of my officers are walking around, stopping into businesses. They react to what's going on. Certainly we keep a very close eye on what's happening. I don't know what incident in particular, but a lot of these incidents really gravel me. I would just love to sit up there sometimes if I had the time. But our officers are very diligent in pursuing things. We use every bit of technology available to us. We have flock cameras, so does Legacy Village. So we're able to get data as long as the retailer is being cooperative with us. Sometimes they call us long after something happened. Well, we just need to make a report. And what I've always tried to impress upon everybody when we're talking to them is when you're not diligent, you're putting everybody else at risk because you're advertising that we're easy. All right? I don't want to be easy. I want to make it as impossible as possible. I want people to think that, hey, if I come in to Lyndhurst and am a bad actor, that, I'm going to get pursued. I'm going to get caught. So, yeah. Thank you for that. Oh, come on, don't go that easy on me. That's it? Really? Well, thank you, everybody, for coming. I mean, it's our privilege to be up here to work for you, our employees. A lot of our employees, and I'm so impressed by this, live in our community. And that ownership, that doesn't only manifest in them, but it manifests in their coworkers because their coworkers see how much they care. It's just wonderful, really is. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Go to Bubble Wave and have a bubble tea The pearls are amazing. So thank you very